Today with us is Kim Lerner. She is the director for LiveOn New York Benefits Outreach Program. This presentation will be for 30 to 45 minutes maximum, and is about benefits available to older people. She will tell us how LiveOn can assist older people to get some of the programs like DRIE, SCRIE, or how to apply for SNAP, Medicare, and just to mention a few of the benefits that they provide. We're gonna ask you to please keep your microphone muted, and between presentations, she will let you know for people who ask questions, and you could mute yourself to ask your question, or you could also write it on the chat if that's preferable for you. Kim, whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. First, I want to thank Housing Court Answers for allowing me to be here to talk with you today. And I just want to wish you all, I hope you all are doing well and that your families are doing well and managing through this extraordinarily difficult time. So again, my name is Kim Lerner. I'm the director of LiveOn New York's Benefits Outreach Program, and I'm going to talk to you about several benefit programs that are specifically available to older adults. I'm going to focus on older adults specifically. So before we begin, I'm going to tell you a little bit about LiveOn New York, because most people don't know what we do or even that we exist. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I hope you all can see this. So just to tell you a little bit about LiveOn New York, we are a nonprofit organization, we're a membership organization of approximately 100 other nonprofits that provide programs and services to older adults. And our mission, our main mission is to make New York City a better place to age. And we do that by focusing on 3 areas. We have an advocacy arm that advocates for just policies for older adults. So that includes affordable housing and funding to ensure that older adults have access to community services like senior centers, case management programs, and home delivered meals, among others. So that's our advocacy arm. We also have an education and training program. So we offer professionals in the field of aging, which are mostly our members. We assist them we provide education and training opportunities to build their agency's capacity. And finally, we have our benefits outreach program, which I am the director of, and our benefits outreach program is our only direct service program. So this is where we get an opportunity to meet older adults face-to-face when we were able to meet them face-to-face, that is. And we really have two goals that we strive for. The first one is we educate older adults and others on all the benefit programs that might be available to them. The second part is that we screen mostly older adults, but others as well, for all the benefits. And we assist them throughout the application process, submit the application on their behalf, and also troubleshoot if any issues arise. So I just want to focus just a little on the education part of what we do, because it's so important. Because in the work that we've done, most people understand that many people do not know about these benefits program. They just don't know that they're available and that they may be eligible. So to demonstrate that point, I just want to give you a couple of statistics. And this is before the pandemic. So the numbers are probably considerably higher now. But for example, 35% of older adults in New York City are living with food insecurity. There's no doubt it's much higher now. 40% of older New Yorkers, so that's about 300,000 people, who qualify for the SNAP benefit, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Program, Assistance Program, which is the benefit to purchase food, are not enrolled in that program. And the same holds true for housing. 32% of New York City older adults, single older adults, are paying more than 50% of their income on housing costs. and at least 42%, which comes to about 70,000 New Yorkers who are eligible for the rent freeze program, are not enrolled. So that is a tremendous number of New Yorkers who could be getting benefits that would increase their quality of life, are not receiving them, those benefits. So of course, the next question is why? Why are all these people not receiving the benefits that they're eligible for? And of course, the first answer, the first reason is they're just not aware of all these benefits. They're just not aware that they exist. But the second, the rest of the reasons, and I want to hone in on these because perhaps they'll ring a bell for you, maybe they're relevant to you or people that you know. And these are the reasons why people are not receiving these benefits. And the next reason is the misconceptions surrounding benefits, the misinformation that is out there. They may receive information from their friends, from their family, and it's just incorrect information. So I just want to go through a couple of them. The first one is the misconception that if you get the benefit, you're taking it away from other people. And that is absolutely untrue. Most of these benefits, if you are deemed eligible for them, you will get them. The funding doesn't run out. It expands with the need. So you're not taking it away from anybody else. The other thought is that there's somebody else who needs it more. And so that people don't want to apply because they're concerned about that. But everybody who is eligible for most of these benefits, they are able to receive it. The money does not run out. So it's very important to understand that. The other misconception is that people automatically think that their income is too high for these benefits. And people would be surprised to hear that if you are 60 and older or disabled, the income threshold for some of these benefits is relatively high, higher than you might think. So it's always important to just find out if you're eligible before making the judgment that you're automatically not eligible because of your income. And the last misconception that I wanted to point out is that many people think that they can't have money in their bank account or have a car or a house and still be eligible for these benefits. And that's also not true. Many of these benefits, if you meet the eligibility criteria, do not have an asset test. So that is a big reason why people are not applying for these benefits. They think that if they own a house, they can't receive SNAP or Medicaid. So those are the misconceptions that I wanted to focus on. The other barrier that's keeping people from applying is the stigma surrounding all these benefits, the negative perception of these benefits. And that includes the shame and embarrassment about needing benefits. Many people are ashamed that they need them, that they're ashamed that their friends will find out that they have them. So there's a lot of emotional stuff behind applying for benefits, even the thought of applying for benefits. Also, the idea that benefits are only for poor people. And that also I'll demonstrate is not true. And also people never thought that they would have to ask for help. People worked all their lives and they just didn't think that they would be in the position where they needed additional assistance. And so a lot of our work at LiveOn is we talk to our clients, we talk to whoever we visit with or talk to over the phone who are expressing the hesitation to apply for these benefits, and really try to emphasize that if there's concern that you are asking for help that you don't deserve or whatever it may be, to remember that you worked and supported the system by paying into the system, paying taxes so that these programs are available for all of us, so that we're all eligible to access them. So that's really important. The other thing is that if you are retired and you're living on a fixed income, so that could be Social Security or Social Security and a pension, while your income is fixed, prices for food, housing, medication, all of those needs increase while your income remains the same. So the benefits work to enhance your income, augment your income, so that you can afford those needs, those everyday needs. And the other thing is having these benefits frees up your income so you can pay for other things that you need to purchase or need to pay for. So if you receive $200 in SNAP benefits, that frees up $200 to pay for something else. So those are the kinds of things that we try to impress upon clients who are just feeling all of those emotions about applying for benefits. The other thing, the last thing is, of course, the barriers of the other barriers, which is totally true. The confusing applications, the difficulty that it is, how difficult it is to compile all the documentation that's required. Just the process can be very onerous for many people. And that's really why LiveOn created the Benefits Outreach Program, to help people throughout the process so that they don't have to be overwhelmed and find it difficult to access these benefits. So now I'm going to get to the part that you're all waiting for, which is talking about the benefits. So I'm going to begin with the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. Many of you are probably already familiar with SNAP, but so SNAP is the nation's largest nutritional program. And it was designed to assist people, not only older adults, but families who have single adults who are living on a limited income, to afford a nutritious food that they may not be able to afford otherwise. And just to tell you how SNAP works, SNAP is a monthly benefit that is deposited directly onto what's called an EBT card. An EBT card is an electronic benefits transfer card. And essentially it works just like a debit card. You go into the store, you gather the food that you're going to purchase, you go to the checkout line, you swipe the card, you put in a PIN number, and you purchase the food. It's that easy. And most places that sells food will accept the EBT card. So that's grocery stores, supermarkets, farmers markets, bodegas, and also pharmacies like Walgreens. They sell food. They also accept EBT cards. The other development, I would say within the last year or so, is that you are also able to use SNAP online to purchase food, which has been invaluable to people, especially during the pandemic. So since we're all trying to stay away from crowded venues, so you can use SNAP online at Amazon.com, Instacart, Walmart, and ShopRite. That's in New York State. So, so that's a really important development as far as using SNAP, because you can now get your food delivered. So as far as what SNAP can be used for, SNAP can be used for to purchase unprepared food. So we like to say you can buy a raw chicken or raw chicken breast, but not a rotisserie chicken. So basically you can't, for example, you can't buy food at salad bars using the SNAP card when there were SNAP salad bars. I'm not sure that there are anymore, or any kind of other prepared food. You can buy bread, eggs, milk, fruits, vegetables, meat, all of that stuff, but not prepared. You also are not able to buy pet food, soaps, paper products, alcoholic beverages, tobacco, vitamins, and medicines. So to give you an idea of the range of the SNAP benefit and also how they determine the SNAP, whether you're eligible or not, they will look at the state looks at your income, the number of people in the household, and your expenses. And this is for older adults and people who are disabled specifically. They look at your rent, the amount you pay for rent or mortgage or property taxes, any housing expenses, your utilities, and also very importantly, your medical expenses. So this is the income threshold for people to be automatically eligible for SNAP. If you are at this income level or under, you are automatically deemed eligible for SNAP. And this, again, this is 60 and older or disabled. So one person, it's $2,126 a month. 2 people, $2,873 a month, and 3 people, $3,620 a month. Now, I will say that if you are a little over the maximum income, so if you're one person and your income is let's say $2,156 or $2,200, it is still worth it to apply for SNAP because you may be eligible if you have high expenses. The expenses are used as a deduction to bring you down to this threshold. So if you are a little bit over the maximum income, it is worth it to apply for SNAP because you may be eligible. Again, if you are paying a high rent compared to your income, if you have a lot of medical expenses, so you could very well be eligible even if you're above this income. Now, the thing to remember, however, if you are over this income, is that they will then look at your assets. So they will then look at your bank account to see if you have over $3,500 in your account. If you have over $3,500 in your account, you wouldn't be eligible for SNAP. If it's under $3,500, you will be. And once again, that's only for people who are over this income. If you're under this income, you could have thousands and thousands of dollars in your bank account. It doesn't matter. They do not look at your resources. And to give you an idea of what the maximum amount allotment of SNAP is per month, for one person, the maximum income is $234 a month. And for 2 people, it's $430 a month. Now, I just want to clarify that prior to the pandemic, the maximum income was $194 a month. But since the pandemic started, I'd say within the last 6 months or so, the federal government decided or determined that every person who applies for SNAP and who is receiving SNAP will now get the maximum amount. So any one person, it doesn't matter what their income is, as long as they are eligible for SNAP, will get the maximum amount. So everybody who has SNAP now gets $234. 2 people get $430. And finally, just a couple of facts to take home with you. SNAP is an entitlement program. So as I said earlier, everybody who applies and who's determined eligible will get SNAP. The program does not run out of money. Again, individuals can own a car or a home and still get benefits. You can receive SNAP and get Meals on Wheels or any other home delivered meal program. So that's important to know. You must be a permanent legal resident for at least 5 years or be a citizen. And if you are an older adult or disabled, you must recertify your SNAP benefits every 2 years, whereas if you're younger, it's every year. So I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions. Marlene, do you see any questions?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So one person asked, for these SNAP income eligibility requirements, does one person in the household have to be over 60?
Correct, yes. Or disabled.
And another person asked if you could buy seats with SNAP card.
Yes.
I asked in regards if it's peanuts or cashews and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I assume yes, okay.
No, I meant seeds that you grow.
Oh,
yes, I
now
believe.
I saw.
Yes, I believe you can.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
There's no more questions.
Okay. All righty, so I'm going to move on to the next benefit, and that is the Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP. So HEAP is a one-time grant that covers your energy that provides a grant towards your energy costs or utilities costs. So that could be your fuel, if you own a house, or electricity or gas. And there are three HEAP programs throughout the year. The first one is called regular HEAP, and that begins in around mid-November, and it runs through, well, it's now going to run through April 30th, which it was extended due to the pandemic. So that is regular HEAP, and that provides a one-time grant towards your energy cost. The second HEAP program is called Emergency HEAP, and that program opened in January. And that is for people who are in danger of having their utilities shut off, or they are running out of fuel. Or in the case of now, since utility companies are not allowed to shut off the service. If you owe a lot of money, if you owe arrears on your bill, this grant will provide you with a one-time payment towards that those back costs. And the third and final HEAP program is the HEAP Cooling Assistance, and that opens May 2nd this year. And it provides an air conditioner for households who do not already have an air conditioner. So just to explain just a couple of things about how HEAP, how the grant is provided. If you are paying a utility company directly, let's say Con Edison, if you are eligible for the HEAP grant, HRA will send the grant directly to the utility company, and it will show up as a credit on your bill. If you are receiving SNAP, actually, you are automatically eligible for HEAP. Everybody who receives SNAP automatically will receive a HEAP grant. Usually, for SNAP recipients, the HEAP grant is deposited onto their EBT card, their SNAP card, as cash. So you can use the HEAP, that HEAP grant in the supermarket to buy things you can't buy with SNAP, or to pay your utility bill, whatever it may be. So that is for SNAP recipients. So just to go over quickly the eligibility, for one person, it's $2,610 a month, two people, $3,413, and three people, $4,216. So the next benefit that I'd like to talk about is the Medicare Savings Program. And this is a really underutilized benefit and such a helpful benefit, but so many people don't know about it. So Medicare Savings Program, also known as MSP, is a benefit that will help you pay for the Medicare Part B premium that is either being deducted from your Social Security benefits or that you're paying separately, quarterly or at the end of the year. So currently now the Medicare Part B premium is $148.50 a month. So if you are eligible for this program, that $148.50 that's being taken out of your Social Security benefits would be waived. So you'd have an additional $148.50 back in your Social Security every month, which is fantastic. The other thing that the Medicare Savings Program will cover is that if you by chance are paying a penalty, for example, if you filed for Medicare late and you now have a penalty that you have to pay every month, it will waive that penalty for the amount of time, for as long as you are eligible for MSP. So that is great because some of those penalties can be rather high. And also, if you are one of those people who have to pay for the Medicare Part A premium, and that most people don't have to pay for it, but some do, and it's usually over $400 a month. So if you're eligible for MSP, that premium will be waived as well. So that's just, that's $500+ in savings, in additional money that you're getting back if you are eligible for this program. So eligibility for the Medicare Savings Program is you must be receiving Medicare Part B. Although if you are not receiving Medicare Part B, if you apply for this benefit, you can get Medicare Part B through this program. So that is something, if you're interested in doing, you can contact us and we can explain it a bit more in more detail. But just to keep that in mind, if you are not receiving Medicare Part B and you want to want to get on the program, then we can help you with that through this program. So for one person, it's the maximum income, and it's gone up actually recently. Actually, yesterday we found out the maximum income for one person is $1,469 a month. So it's a little higher now. For two people, it's now $1,980 a month. And in New York State, there is no resource test. In other states in the country, they will look at your bank account and your assets, but in New York State, fortunately, we don't have that criteria. And I just wanted to give you an idea of what the Medicare Savings Program application looks like, just to show you that it's relatively simple. It's one page, which is great. They ask you for the usual information, your personal information, how much you make per month, your Medicare card number, all of that information. But it's as far as applications go, it's relatively simple. And as far as the documentation that's required for MSP, you just need to provide a copy of your ID, proof of your residence, so that could be your rent bill, utility bill, a copy of your Medicare card, and proof of your monthly income. So I'm just going to quickly stop there before we get into Medicaid to see if there are any questions.
Yes, we have a few questions.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, my computer's not letting me read. Okay. Wait, I had one question here. Somebody wanted to know if they had to pay back the grant for the electricity.
No. No.
Okay. And one says here, for whom would HRA automatically send a HEPA payment? I'm not a HEPA, I'm sorry. HEAP payment to Con Ed.
They will not send a payment automatically to Con Ed. You have to apply for it. Only people who are receiving SNAP receive HEAP automatically. And that is usually is usually deposited onto their SNAP card, not sent to the utility company.
Okay. Someone wants to know to explain the penalty for the late enrollment.
I was afraid somebody was going to ask that question. No. So unfortunately, you're supposed to apply for Medicare when you're eligible. So that could be 65, 66, 67. If you don't file for Medicare at that time, and it's during certain times of the year, you will incur a penalty. And if I remember correctly, and please somebody tell me if I'm wrong, that it's 10% of the premium, but I don't remember, to be honest with you. But it's a percentage, and that would be for the entire time that you're receiving Medicare. So that's why this Medicare savings program is so helpful. It will waive that penalty as long as you're eligible. I hope that was clear.
Okay, so, and we have also, do stocks and IRAs count towards income? Income
is considered something that you get either every month or every, let's say, quarter. So stocks, if dividends might be income, but if you're not receiving something on a consistent basis, it's considered a resource.
Someone else wants to know if you provide services in Nassau County or Long Island at all.
We don't, but we really do focus on the 5 boroughs, but we could try to find you an agency that would be helpful.
So another person asked, so the HEAP grant and utilities one-shot deal is 2 separate things?
Correct. The one-shot deal is something that you have to apply. It's a separate program. And also I believe it's possible that a one-shot deal you do have to pay back, although some people don't have to pay it back, but it's not really considered a grant, so to speak.
Okay. Someone says, HEAP, etc. Do you know how to appeal a decision for reduction for gas for cooking and hot water with National Grid Gas Company? And then says, parentheses, my client was not living in the home or using gas, but the company continued to bill at $300 a month.
No, but I could try to find out for you if you call our office.
Okay. Well, someone says, if you are working and have health insurance, you cannot get Medicaid Part B? Might you still be penalized for not enrolling?
There are, if you are receiving, and this is very complicated and I am no Medicare expert, but if you are working and you are receiving health insurance that's acceptable, you know, to the federal government as being, you have full coverage, then there are exceptions to receiving Medicare, to having to receive Medicare. So that is something there are agencies that really specialize in Medicare that you could contact for more information, but there are exceptions if you are working.
We have a lot of questions on this one. Medicare saving programs, married couple, one retirement applying for Part B late. Medicare will address Part B for the one individual only. I don't know if I read that correctly. So I'm gonna read it again. Medicare Savings Program, married couple, one retire, I guess, applying for Part B late. Medicare will address Part B for the one individual only.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay. Do you assist people in Staten Island?
Of course, we would never leave Staten Island out.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. All righty. So now I'm going to go on to Medicaid, and now Medicaid is an extremely complicated benefit. I'm sure most of you know. So I'm just going to go through just do an overview of it. So Medicaid, as we all know, is health insurance coverage. And so for this Medicaid, I'm talking about Medicaid specifically for people who are 65 and older, who may have a disability, or who are vision impaired. So that is the category of Medicaid I'm talking about. There's another Medicaid program which you would get through the marketplace through New York State Department of Health, which is basically through the Affordable Care Act. That is another type of Medicaid that you would apply for if you are 64 and under. So just to make it clear, we're focusing on the benefit for older adults. So there are three different Medicaid coverages that's available. The first one is the community Medicaid, and that is for your basic doctor's appointments, inpatient, outpatient doctor's appointments, laboratory tests or exams, x-rays, etc., prescriptions, vision care, hearing aids, those kind of needs. Now, if you need long-term care, for example, if you need, like many of our clients do, need home care, then the Medicaid coverage that you would apply for is community-based Medicaid with long-term coverage. So by long-term care, I mean, it could be an assisted living program, home care in the house, could be hospice care, also adult day programs, all covered by this Medicaid coverage. And the third coverage is really called nursing home Medicaid or institutional Medicaid. And that is for people who need to go into a nursing home. So as you'll see, the Medicaid eligibility is, the income threshold is quite low. So the maximum income for one person, it's $884 a month. So it's really low. Now for Medicaid, they do look at your resources, and there is a limit on the resources. So for one person, you cannot have more than $15,900 in resources. So that is your bank accounts, checking your savings, life insurance, burial plans. They will after $1,500, they will count anything else that you're paying towards the burial plan. So those are the kind of resources that they're looking at. So that's $15,900. For two people, the maximum income is $1,300 a month. And the resource threshold for them is $23,400. Now, if you are over that $884 for one person, let's say, you still could be eligible for Medicaid coverage. This is where it gets a little complicated. So if you are over the maximum income, there is a program called the Medicaid Spend Down Program. The spend down is a deductible, essentially. It is the amount of money that you are over the maximum income level for Medicaid. So in order to meet that deductible, there are three ways you can meet the deductible. Once you meet the deductible, you're eligible for Medicaid coverage. So I will use a person, let's say their income is $1,284 a month. So that means they are $400 over the Medicaid maximum income. So that means their spend down or their deductible is $400 a month. So in order to meet that deductible, they can either pay the $400, which nobody wants to do, and that money would go to HRA, Human Resources Administration. The second option is to provide proof that you have medical expenses in the amount of that $400 spend down. You have to show that you have those medical expenses every month to get the coverage. And then finally, there is the option of setting up a pooled income trust. The pooled income trust is specifically, or mostly for people, I should say, who need home care. So they have been deemed unable, they have maybe a mobility problem. They just need help around the house. So they are considered quote unquote disabled. I'm using that in quotes. And so for those people who need home care, they're able to set up a trust. And I will try to explain what a trust is, and I hope it makes sense. So the trust is basically a financial tool that is administered by a nonprofit organization that is authorized by New York State. And essentially it's an account that is set up. And what happens once it's set up, the Medicaid spend down, that deductible, the $400 in this example, that $400 will be transferred into that account. And that way it is no longer thought of as part of your income. So it's transferred into that account, into the trust, and then you are able to use that money to pay your other expenses. So you're not losing that money that's in the trust. You can use it for your living expenses, but the benefit of it is that it is not thought of as part of your income. It's not considered as your income when Medicaid does the calculation to determine your eligibility for Medicaid. So that is the benefit of the pooled income trust. Now, I will say that as far as when you are asking the trust to pay your living expenses, you should know that means that the trust itself needs to pay your living expense from that amount. In other words, they write the check. You tell them, I want to use that spend down to pay for my rent. And then the trust, the agency that's handling the trust, will write the check to your landlord, let's say, and they will send the check to your landlord. In other words, you cannot write the check to the landlord for the trust. The trust has to do it on your behalf. I hope that made sense. Please ask me any questions if you have any questions. But so you do need to give up a little bit of control if you choose this option. But this is really the main way that people can afford home care, and that is through Medicaid. And if you're over income, to set up a pooled income trust. So the required documentation for Medicaid is you need to provide a copy of your ID, proof of your immigration status, copy of your Medicare card, proof of your address, so that's a rent bill, utility bill, etc., proof of your monthly income, proof of all of your resources, and that includes if you own a house, if you own a car. That won't, now you can own a car and you can own a house, but just so you know that you can own it, that is not considered part of the maximum resources. It's separate. So I'm going to stop there because I'm sure that there are questions about Medicaid.
Not really, but if anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask the questions, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing? Tyrone from NHS Brooklyn. Could you please go over the spend down? Because yeah, I think I kind of didn't quite grasp.
I might not have been very clear, so thank you, Tyrone. So the spend down, a spend down is the amount of money that you are over the maximum limit, income limit for Medicaid. So like I said, if your income, the maximum income for one person is $884 a month. So if let's say your income is $1,284 a month, you're $400 over. That $400 is a spend down or a deductible. You could think of it as a deductible. So you have to meet that deductible in order to be eligible for that Medicaid coverage. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
No,
Somebody asked.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you know of a legal form similar to innocent spouse? It allows a spouse not to be responsible for a very ill partner's medical bills, home care, etc. It was a question.
Yes, I got it. Yes, there's
Okay.
called a spousal refusal. So the spouse who is not going to be receiving Medicaid or is not applying for Medicaid, they need to sign a form. It's called a spousal refusal that essentially attests that they are not responsible for their spouses, the person who's applying for Medicaid, for their medical expenses. So they have to sign that, and actually both members of the couple need to sign that. So yes, that is an option.
Okay. Where you get that at?
It's readily available online.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, I do see one. Do you need an attorney to set up a pooled income trust, or can you set it up yourself? Yes, you can set it up yourself. There's a number of agencies that are authorized in New York State, nonprofits, to handle the trust. So all you would need to do is choose one of those agencies, contact them, and they will walk you through the process. It's important to shop around, so to speak, because every trust, every agency has their own fee schedule. So you need to find which fee schedule would work well for you, as far as their setup fee and the monthly fee that it costs to handle the trust.
There's another one now. It says, do you know about free power of attorney for senior?
I'm not sure what that's asked, what that question is.
I guess they want to know if there's a way of getting a free power of attorney for a senior, meaning that they don't have to pay to file the power of attorney.
That I'm not sure. Sorry. Yes, thank you, Jessica. Volz is the place to go. Volz is definitely the place to go. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica. Yes.
So I have a few questions. The first one is, does a pool trust get you eligible for like DRIE or any of those kind of things, or is it just Medicaid?
It is specifically for Medicaid.
So nothing else, right?
Correct.
Okay, no more questions.
So I'm going to move on. Speaking of SCRIE and DRIE, that's going to be our next focus. So SCRIE and DRIE. So SCRIE is the senior citizen rent increase exemption, and DRIE is the disability rent increase exemption. So SCRIE is for older adults, and DRIE is for people who are receiving disability. So what does SCRIE DRIE do? SCRIE and DRIE freezes the rent for tenants. If it's SCRIE, it's for tenants who are 62 and older. For DRIE, it's for, as I said, tenants who have a disability. And the tenant must live in certain rent regulated apartments. And the thing that I just want to mention, because this question does come up, there's the concern that landlords lose money if you are receiving SCRIE or DRIE. And so oftentimes our clients don't want to even apply because they're afraid their landlord will get angry at them. Landlords do not lose money. They receive a tax abatement if you're receiving SCRIE on their property tax bill in the amount that you pay for that increase, that rent increase. So please don't be scared about applying. Don't be fearful about applying for the rent freeze program. By law, the landlord must accept SCRIE or DRIE. They cannot refuse it. So eligibility for SCRIE or DRIE, as I said, you must live in a rent regulated apartment. So that includes rent control apartment, rent stabilized apartment, and Mitchell-Lamas. Also, SROs are included as well. You must be on the lease and you must be 62 and older, as I said, or show that you have a disability or receiving disability benefits. Your total household income, now when they look at your income, it's for the previous year, not the current year. So if you were applying for SCRIE now, they'd be looking at your income for 2020. And your annual income cannot be over 50,000. So that is everybody in your household who resides in the apartment, except your roommates or if you have boarders, must be 50,000 or under. And the other requirement is that you need to show that you are paying at least a third of your monthly income towards the rent. So for example, as it says here, if your household income is $3,000 a month, your rent, you need to show that your rent is at least $1,000 a month to be eligible. And finally, for some tenants, usually it's the Mitchell-Lama, you have to renew your SCRIE every year. And for rent stabilized tenants, you have to renew your SCRIE every time you get a lease renewal. So documentation for SCRIE, you need to provide an ID with your date of birth, proof of your disability if you're applying for DRIE. As I said, the previous year's income, so that could be your tax return or previous year's 1099 statements, W-2s, whatever you have to show your annual income. And for rent stabilized or controlled tenants, usually it's mostly rent stabilized, you need to provide a copy of your current lease and your previous lease. And just to give you, I just wanted to show you what a SCRIE application looks like. This application is for Mitchell-Lama. So those are regulated co-ops, such as Co-op City, those kind of complexes. So, and this SCRIE, now SCRIE is administered by two different entities in New York. If you are living in a Mitchell-Lama or a co-op, it is administered by HPD, Department of Housing Preservation and Development. And this is the application you would use. One-page application, again, relatively simple. If you are living in a rent stabilized or rent controlled apartment building, then your SCRIE is administered by the Department of Finance, and they have a different application. This is the application, it's 3 pages. Still relatively simple, but it's just a little more. It's same information, but it's just a bit longer. So that's SCRIE and DRIE. So before, I'm going to go into the property tax exemptions. I hope this is relevant for some people on the call. So these are exemptions for people who mostly own houses, but it's also relevant if you own a co-op or a condominium. So the benefit is the Senior Citizens Homeowners Exemption, or SHEAP. And for people who are disabled, it's the Disability Homeowners Exemption, or D, or DRIE, depending on how you pronounce it. So these benefits, SHEAP and DRIE, are property tax breaks for older adults and people with disabilities. And how it works is if you are found eligible for this benefit, it will reduce your home's assessed value by a certain percentage based on your income. And that in turn reduces your property taxes. So as you can see, as illustrated here, depending on your income, you'll see if your income is $57,500, between $57,500 and $58,399, it will reduce your home's assessed value by 5%, and so on up to 50%. So that can really be a considerable savings on property taxes. So eligibility for SHEAP, you must be 65 and older by December 31st of the application year, the year that you're applying, or disabled if you are under 65. The maximum income, and once again, they look at the previous year's income. The maximum income is $58,399 or under. You also need to show that you've lived at your residence, your address, for at least 12 months, unless you were receiving the benefit at a previous location, so then you can have it transferred. And also, very important, it must be your primary residence. Now, the deadline for these two benefits was March 15th. So if you'd apply now, let's say you apply now, it would be for next year as opposed to this year. So the required documentation for these benefits, and I will say it as an aside, there's also a property tax exemption for veterans and for members of the clergy. And there's also one for certain crime victims. So just to let you know that there are other exemptions available. But for SHEAP and D, you need to provide a copy of your ID with your date of birth, proof of your status, meaning your disability or veteran status or clergy, and your previous year's income, again, tax return or 1099 statements. And as I said, the deadline was March 15th. Usually if you applied by March 15th, then this property tax exemption would show up on your July 1st property tax bill. And the property tax exemption for older adults, SHEAP, you need to renew it every 2 years. And for the DRIE, it's renewed every year. And I know we're running out of time. It's already been an hour. So I'm going to just talk briefly about the school tax relief. So this is the STAR, which is the school tax relief program. And there's also another benefit called Enhanced STAR, which is a little higher benefit for people who are 65 and older. So STAR, if you receive STAR or Enhanced STAR, this credit, so it's a credit towards your school taxes and also partly to your city taxes in New York City. So STAR has a really high income threshold. If you own a home and it's your primary home, oh dear, excuse me, and it's your primary home, the maximum income for STAR is $500,000 or less. And usually the STAR credit is a little bit over $300 at this point. It's a little over $300. Now, if you are 65 and older, and your income is $90,550 or less, you may be eligible for Enhanced STAR. And that credit is a little over $600 for the year. And finally, I'm sure many of you know about Lifeline, which is the discount phone program, that if you are receiving SNAP or Medicaid or Section 8, you can be automatically eligible for this benefit, but other people are eligible for it too, and it could decrease your phone cost to as low as $9 a month. And most vendors or providers offer Lifeline, the Lifeline benefit. So very, very quickly, before I answer the last bit of questions, I just want to let you know how LiveOn New York can help you and the people you know. So our staff, when you call our staff, and most of our work is done over the phone now, obviously, we will screen you for all of the benefits to see what you're eligible for. We will carefully explain what the benefit does, the eligibility criteria, and also what the application entails, what the process is. And then if you want to move ahead with the application, we will assist you. We will help you fill out the application. We will, if you need help in compiling some of the documentation, if we're able to, we will help you with that. And then we will submit the application on your behalf and be there for you. We provide support throughout the process so that if any hiccups occur, and they often do, we're able to resolve them on your behalf because we have contacts at EHRA or any of the other government agencies so that we can intervene on your behalf and advocate for you. So that is it in a nutshell. I will answer take some questions if there are any more. Is that okay, Marlene? Let's see. So I see with SCRIE, are the income levels the gross amount or after taxes? So it is the gross amount. However, they will deduct taxes, the taxes that you have paid. So if you are a little over the $50,000 income level and you've paid taxes, and it could bring you down lower than the $50,000, that means you would be eligible. So the taxes are used as a deduction. That's correct, Stephanie. If you have SHAHI or DHI, your house cannot be placed on a tax lien sale list. That's absolutely true. Do older adults get assistance on filling out SCRIE applications? Yes, we assist everybody in applying and filling out the application, and we submit it on their behalf. Yes, I can make the slides available. The question was, can we receive a copy of the training? And I can provide all the slides to you.
Yes, it will be provided on our website also.
Great. I think that was it.
Yeah, how you doing? I have a question. I could have put it in the chat, but it's, it's a little lengthy. Regarding SCRIE and DRIE, you said that they require 2 leases. Now, your current lease, and was it the last lease you had, or your current lease and your original lease that they need? That's my first question. And my second question, in terms of with SCRIE and DRIE, does it just freeze your rent, or is it like a reduction similar to, let's say, Section 8, or they just freeze it at the last amount?
I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of people are under the unfortunate, I wish this was true, but that it reduces the rent. It does not reduce the rent like a Section 8 voucher. It freezes the rent usually at the last lease amount.
Okay.
And what was you had another question?
Regarding the leases is required documents. Is it your current lease and then the lease before that, which is acceptable, or is it the original lease that they asked for?
Your current lease and the immediate previous lease.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. I have a client. She lives with her grandson. She doesn't have an income. She doesn't have anything. Is she eligible for some kind of benefit? She's on a lease. The lease is on her name, but she doesn't have an income. Her grandson pays the bills.
Are you talking about SCRIE? Is she eligible for SCRIE?
Any benefits, quick.
Yeah. I mean, just because you don't have an income, that doesn't mean she very well might be eligible for SNAP, for Medicaid, for SCRIE.
She's been a resident only for a year and a half.
Well, that would be an issue for SNAP. You would need to be a permanent resident for at least 5 years.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For SCRIE, they do not take your status into consideration, so they won't ask her for proof of her residency. I mean,
Okay.
status.
Okay.
But it really depends on the benefit.
Yeah. And she doesn't speak English.
What, does she speak Spanish?
Spanish.
Yeah, we have people, if you want to contact us, we have people staff who speak Spanish.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That will be the highlight of my year if I can help her.
Oh, I hope we can.
Yes.
So I should give you our contact information. So our phone number is 212-398-5045. And you can also email us at benefits@liveon, LIVEON -ny.org. And with the slides, I will also give you my email address so that if you want to reach out to me directly, you're welcome to do that as well.
Okay, that will come with the slide.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any more questions?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Chabot. I just have a quick question. Can a client contact your agency directly, or should they come through someone like myself who might be helping them?
Either way, they can come directly to us or you can refer them to us.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Kim?
I have a question. Do you do advocacy for government benefits like Social Security, SSI?
Unfortunately, we don't have that capacity.
Can you refer the person to somebody, to an agency?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We definitely, we have information and referrals. So if you need assistance with things that we can't assist with, we definitely will give you referrals.
Well, it has to do with Medicaid and Social Security insurance. The person ended their Social Security SSI, but were getting Medicaid, and they were sent a letter saying that they had an appointment months ago, but there was never any appointment set up. So they've ended their Medicaid.
So they have to reapply for Medicaid?
I don't really know. That's why I'm looking for help for them.
Yeah, I would give us a call and we can either assist you or we'll find you somebody who can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Kim, if our agency wants to join as a member,
Yes.
you can connect us to the right person or whatever. Yeah, all right. So you would initially be the right person, and then you'd steer us in the right further direction.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, if you are members of any.
Let me just say, Kim, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Part of the reason. I'm sorry. What did you say?
No, I was just going to say, if there's anybody online who's from an agency that is not a member of LiveOn New York, you please feel free to reach out to us if you're interested in becoming a member.
Right. And part of the reason why I ask is because now at the Bridge Fund, we are providing short-term rent subsidies to folks that are approaching sufficient retirement income. So it would be good to connect with some of your members.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
There's another question, Kim. It says, if an older adult needs assistance with a Medicaid insurance renewal application, do you provide those services?
Yes, for sure. We assist with initial applications and any recertification renewals, any of those kind of items.
And someone wants to know if you could provide your information on the chat.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I should have done that. I'll provide you with my phone number and my email.
And someone else wants to know, what is the best agency to work with applying for senior housing, if you know?
That is a toughie. So there is a program that HPD offers. It's called the Housing Ambassador Program. They have, so there's several agencies in each borough that are part of that program that can navigate the affordable housing, lottery, et cetera, those kind of opportunities. So that is one possibility. Other than that, it's really hard. I really don't have anything to provide, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess no more questions.
Okay, so I just put my email and phone number in the chat. So please, anybody feel free to reach out to us. If you know anybody who are they're not familiar with these benefits, please tell them about the benefits and tell them about us, and we would happily provide assistance to them. And I see in the chat, it's Damali.
Yes.
NYCHA is providing some housing for seniors. Without a,
Yes.
Yeah, it's very limited, but there's like a program that I saw that they advertise on Facebook. I forget the name, but it's out there.
Wow. I mean, I was under the impression that there was quite a waiting list, but I'm happy to hear that.
It's a building like specifically for only seniors.
Oh, I gotcha.
And I think it's in the Bronx. I'm not completely sure.
All righty. Well,
Okay, then.
Thank you, everybody. I hope this was informative in some way.
Good seeing you. Thank you so much.
It was. Thank you so much.
Very helpful.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much for your informative presentation. And I wanted to let everybody know that Housing Coherence is still helping tenants over the phone in our hotline with questions regarding the declaration of hardship. Yes, you still have time to file the declaration of hardship until May 1st if you are in the need to file it. Questions in regards to the court, what's going on with the court, rental arrears, we screen them, we guide them or direct them to the best charity that can assist them, or any other questions that they might have. If we don't know the answer, we get the answer.
All right. And thank you, Ms. Casanova. And I think we saw your son.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry.
He's very cute.
Thank you, thank you.
And Jessica Hurd, I want to talk to you.
Oh dear.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm gonna post our outline on the chat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to close the meeting now. Have a good afternoon.